Hi Katie, it's Allison. I'm going to show you how to use the Smartbook Access now and how your students will use it and then how you can set it up and how easy it is. I wasn't just looking up KT tape. This is so funny. I think it's because I titled your create video KT something, but this is just what popped up. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to connect.mheducation.com. So it's just like create except it's connect in the front. Login is going to be the exact same. dx1645 at wayne.edu, and then your password, like I said, is in the body of the email. I just don't want to say it because this is public on YouTube. Continue, accept. Okay, so there's a couple things in here too. It's so funny. You have a Connect course for Lucas in here, but I can't remember. You may have used a different email to do your child flipped class test. I thought I would see that in here too. But you'll see I gave you a Connect access code for West, and that's actually just what I built in your book for Create. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sign in, and just remember I am you right now. I am you as the instructor. So this is what the instructor view looks like of Connect. You're probably going to remember this from your child flipped class test, but now we just have Smartbook, which is one assignment type for our Weston Turner book for communication theory. So I just want to give you a little background for this. I just want you to imagine for a second that instead of on your syllabus it says read chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before class, you actually say go into Blackboard, because this will pair with your Blackboard, and go into Blackboard and do Smartbook for chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. What this does is it allows your students to have an adaptive way to understand the material. So let's say your best student really doesn't need a lot of remediation. They're getting this stuff right away. But your student that's in the middle, they need this class to pass, they need it for their major, they're having a little bit more issues. The system will work with them individually to help them understand the concepts, at least at a basic level, so they can come to class prepared to expand on those topics with you. So I'm going to go into the student view and I'm just going to show you how this works. Well, actually the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you set it up as an instructor. We're going to add an assignment. We're going to click Learn Smart. So this is kind of confusing. Learn Smart was the original way we used Smartbook. It was just the questioning strategy, and it's not as advanced older brother. We paired it with a text, and that's the only thing I sell now. I don't ever sell it as Learn Smart, but there are some buttons we just haven't changed over yet to say Smartbook. So Learn Smart is Smartbook, so always remember that. We're going to click on Smartbook, and let's say I'm going to add chapter 30, Feminist Standpoint Theory. I'm going to go ahead and assign this. And what's cool about this is you can control the amount of time it will take your average student to get through this. So in this case, it's 23 minutes. My suggestion is don't ever mess with it to be less than 30 minutes unless there are some topics in here you do not want covered. Let's say you don't like integration, critique, and closing. You don't want that part to be part of the chapter. You just unclick that, and how it will look is that there will be no questions about these topics, and the text will be dimmed out inside the chapter for the students so they won't focus there. Also, you'll see it went down 2 minutes. You can also use a slider bar for more or less content. I'd suggest for this book you don't really mess with this, because the less content you use, the less adaptive it will be for the student. It becomes adaptive because there are lots of different questions to hit on all these topics to try to understand where this student is. I'm going to leave it at 100 points, and next I'm going to click Assign. From here, it's just going to make me pick a due date. I'm going to pick a date just like way in the future. I'm going to click Assign. Okay, I'm going to go back to my homepage. See that little house right up there? And this is where I can preview it as a student. The way I'm going to preview what I just did, oh my gosh, that's so funny. It was already assigned in there. And I just picked one that was already assigned, but you get the idea. I'm going to click on Student View in this top right-hand corner. And now I can take these assignments as a student. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the assignment I just have. But imagine that so how it's going to work is when you pair it with your Blackboard, you don't have to pair it with Blackboard. I just think that you would like to, because I think you use Blackboard quite a bit. Well, this just takes a second to go through. It will take the students directly to that page where it starts to load the Smartbook. They won't even have to go inside Connect. It's like a single sign-on. They'll just go right to it. It's pretty cool. So I'm your student. we're going to have a lecture on chapter 30 tomorrow, so I want to make sure that I'm getting a basic understanding of this theory before I come to class. So what's cool about Smartbook is the first time they enter any chapter, they get this kind of safety net. It tells them, what is Smartbook? How does it work? It's like a little tutorial. There are a lot of safety nets throughout Smartbook, so the student's not feeling like they're left high and dry. I'm gonna click start. Okay, it's asking me for for an alias. We'll just appear as anonymous since you're the teacher anyway. Okay, so they get a little coach that pops up too, and the coach is going to say, this is how you study with Smartbook. I'm going to be here along the way with you to help you out, but they can turn her off at any point they want, or they can use closed captioning if they're like, let's say in a computer lab and they're embarrassed because she's talking to them. So Smartbook it's in 4 phases. It's preview, read, practice, and recharge. This came from reading science, actually, and we actually worked with developmental reading instructors on how the best students, or how they teach the best students to read textbooks. And they say that if they read in these couple phases, they will eventually be much better readers and they'll understand their content better. So in this preview phase, it's really just the bold headings. The student just kind of sees what they're going to encounter within this chapter. They don't really have to do much here, and most students probably won't. They'll probably just skip right to read. And then in every chapter, or every click of the way, if the student needs help, they can always click on that coach and she can pop up, but they can always just click out of her. So you'll see this is just like a PDF version of the text as it is. They can also change this to like a spread if they want to see more at once. But you're probably noticing that there are highlights here. How do these highlights get there, Allison? Well, they come from a couple places. They come from Weston Turner and their team themselves. So we actually went to them and we said, hey guys, if you had the best student in your class or one of your graduate assistants helping you, what would they highlight in every chapter? So it just gives students a framework of where to start to focus. It's just conceptualizing, just saying, hey student, I know there's a lot of information, focus here. This is the main stuff that you'll need to know and need to study for, probably your test or to be ready for your lecture. As a student goes through, you'll also see that there are some parts that are dimmed out. Remember how I told you if you uncheck something, some of it will be dimmed out? So that comes from you, but all of these highlights also come from you too. So if you unhighlight or highlight, these will go away if you don't want your students to know that content. And then if at any point students want to read this dimmed out, they can just click on it and it can go back. So I'm your average student and I'm spending time just reading the highlighted portions. And I'm feeling pretty confident. I am now going to go to the practice phase, and this practice phase is really how it becomes adaptive to the student. So a student is now asked questions about what they read, but they're not only just asked a question, they're asked, how well do you think you know this? So the system is really going to account for if the student's guessing or not, and it will account if the student's lying because it will take the student a lot longer to get through it. But as a student goes through, see, I just got that one right. And I said I wasn't totally sure, so that might come back to me again to make sure I really know it. But you'll see, I'm 3% done and I have 27 more learning objectives. These are not questions, these are learning objectives that I have to master to get through 100%. This green wants to be all the way at the end by the due date and time so that I get the full amount of points, but it's not all or nothing. If the student gets through 60%, they'll get 60 out of 100, 6 out of 10 points at the due date and the time. If at any point they want help, they can click read about this, and this will pull up the next question and they can answer it side by side. But even this, the system is accounting that they needed help. So this will probably come back to them in another way. So these questions can come to the student in a lot of ways. Right now I'm getting multiple choice, but there's also fill in the blank, true, false, select between two. Sometimes there's matching questions. It does get more detailed as it gets to know the student, but what's cool about this is you'll know that all of your students came to class with a basic understanding of what they had, what they needed to read inside the chapter. And this is a lot better than guessing, especially for your students who maybe only have 30 minutes to study. This is going to be the most impactful way for them to study that material instead of opening the book and praying that they're reading the right things or taking the right notes. This is just a really refined way for them to understand those concepts of class. What's also cool is not only not only do students get reporting about their own progress, but you as the instructor can get reporting about your whole class. So you can see what are their 5 most challenging learning objectives. And I'll see if I can pull up a sample because I'm in here as a student right now. You can pull up in every chapter, what did they struggle with? So now you can be informed for the first time, really, that your students struggled inside the reading with some certain concepts. So that way you can go, okay, maybe I need to do something different, or maybe I need to have a different, here we go, we're gonna have sample reports. So like here's the reports that you'll get about your students. You can go into module details. Let's do most challenging learning objectives. So here's an example of like how you would pull up any chapter you wanted. Let's say you just did chapter 2. You can pull up the 5 things that your students struggled with. And this will change like term to term, section to section. And so you can use this to now inform your lecture before you even have it once your students do Smartbook. So I hope you like it. I already packaged it in with your sample copy. You saw the price. We can still work on the price if you want. And you will also get a trainer that will help you set this up, and it will probably take you an hour at most for all of next term just to do it. And the other thing I think is cool is this will be, if you use this, this will be a really nice way for you to see how McGraw-Hill content integrates with your course now, and also kind of test me out as being your rep and service. I'm thinking that this would be a really nice way for you to see that maybe we would really be a good partner for you for the Comp 1010 course by using this material. This Smartbook is even better for what I would give to you for Comp 1010. We have way, way better digital stuff. It's basically like Smartbook, but even more advanced, and I'll show you that later on. So please just let me know what you think. Thank you for watching this. Sorry I took about 25 minutes of your time today, but I just wanted to give you a brief overview of how this works. Call me or email me if you have any questions. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye, Katie.